So I'm going to be doing that, and we will be seeing how it goes. So, the first thing the topic that I have been reading was, Depressants and Inhalants. So, and I was reading the part where they're talking about roofies and GHB and like drugs that assholes use to, roofie people. Alright, page 165, targeting prevention, date rape drugs. You've all heard stories about women having roofies, GHB, or some other drug slipped into their drink while they weren't looking, and then being raped while they were incapacitated. There was a flurry of news and magazine articles about date rape drugs in 1996, and in that year, Congress passed the Drug-Induced Rape Prevention and Punishable Act, making it a federal crime punishable by up to 20 years in prison to give someone a controlled substance without the recipient's knowledge. With the intent of committing a violent crime. Notice that alcohol itself would not trigger the use of the law. It has to be a controlled substance, and it has to be administered without the recipient's knowledge. Actual prosecutions under this law have been rare, partially because rape is usually charged under state laws. Studies have been done in the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada. One of my friends was arguing with me about how it's pronounced Canada. Y'all, in the comments below, is it Canada or Canada? Let me the freak know, because I know damn well it's not Canada. Studies have been done in the US, UK, Canada, and Australia, examining blood and urine samples from women who charged that they were given a drug without their knowledge. The most common finding was a high blood alcohol content, and in more than half the cases in each study, no other drug was detected. In some cases, a drug might have been used that was not detected for some reason, but it also does appear that in many of these cases, the date rape drug was too much alcohol. So our advice for women would be to take all the precautions that you have read and heard about when you're out partying. But remember that while you're keeping your hand over your glass, the substance most likely to incapacitate you and make everything you do riskier might already be in that glass in the form of alcohol. And our advice for men is to remember that if she is incapable of giving her consent, it can be considered rape no matter how she became incapacitated. Y'all, don't get too fucked up. That's the gist. Don't get sloppy, for the love of God, please. Although many initially hoped that that's a big word. Non-benzodiazepine. I'm gonna see how to pronounce that. Okay, what? I don't know how to work this computer. TV, I lied. No, I didn't.
How to pronounce the name of this type?
Sorry.
Interesting and related medical terms as well. So make sure to stay tuned and consider the
Why is their whole intro literally just say the word? Oh my god. Benzodiazepine. Okay. Oh, fuck. Anyways. Although many initially hoped that the non-benzodiazepines would be more specific and avoid some of the problems of earlier drugs, there have been reports of withdrawal reactions and other complications with them as well. They are listed along with the benzodiazepines in Schedule 4, one step below the Schedule 3 classification of the barbiturates. Barbiturates, whatever. Mechanism of action. It is an important key to understanding the effects of these sedative hypnotic agents was noticed that the benzodiazepine receptors were always near receptors for the amino acid neurotransmitter GABA, GABA. It now appears that when benzodiazepines and their non-benzodiazepine cousins bind to their receptor site, they enhance the normally inhibitory effects of GABA on its receptors. The barbiturates act at a separate binding site nearby. The picture emerges of a GABA receptor complex, which includes the barbiturate binding site and the benzodiazepine receptor. Drug companies quickly began developing new drugs based on their ability to bind these sites, leading to the development of the entire class of non-benzodiazepine hypnotics, as well as other potentially useful compounds that are now being studied. I got my stress ball. I don't know, maybe I could use this as like a trigger, but honestly, I just need something to fidget with while I'm like reading. Beneficial uses. How do you say that? Read aloud, yeah.
Anxiolytics.
No way, that's how you say that. Anxiolytics, I mean, I guess so. Beneficial uses. Anxiolytics raise out the written troubles of the brain, and with some sweet, oblivious antidote, cleanse the stuffed bosom of the bearless stuff which weighs upon the heart. From fucking Shakespeare. Fuck Shakespeare, I'm so fucking sick and tired of Shakespeare and his fucking writings. Shit is ass, it's so boring. I'm sorry if there's anybody out there that fucking loves Shakespeare, but why? Anyways, as these lines from Shakespeare's Macbeth reveal, humans have often sought a sweet, oblivious antidote to the cares and woes of living. Alcohol has most frequently been used for that purpose, but the sedative drugs also play a major role in modern society. In the United States, in recent decades, the barbiturates, then hang on, y'all. See these, like, science classes?
Mepropamate.
Mepropamate. In the United States, in recent decades, the barbiturates, then mepropamate, and then the benzodiazepines have been among the most widely prescribed medications in the most recent decades. Okay. 4 benzodiazepines are listed among the top 100 most commonly prescribed medications of the United States. Wow, yeah, that makes sense. It's listed. Number 1 is alprazolam, which is Xanax. 2 is lorazepam, which is Ativan. 3 is clonazepam, which is Klonopin. And 4 is diazepam, which is Valium. And then there's a table. These are all relatively long-lasting drugs to use primarily as anxiolytics to reduce anxiety. The combined sales of these anxiolytics make them one of the most widely prescribed drug classes. Most physicians used to accept the widely held view that various types of dysfunctional behavior, e.g. phobias, panic attacks, obsessive-compulsive disorders, psychosomatic problems, result from various forms of psychological stress that can be lumped under the general classification of anxieties. So if anxieties produce dysfunctional behavior and these drugs can reduce anxieties, then the drugs will be useful in reducing the dysfunctional behavior. Although this approach seems logical, in reality not all of these conditions respond well to anti-anxiety drugs. For specific phobias, with like a fear of spiders, behavioral therapy is a more effective treatment. And for obsessive-compulsive disorder and most of the official anxiety disorders, certain antidepressant drugs seem to be most effective. Most of the prescriptions for anti-anxiety medications are neither written by psychiatrists nor they are written for patients with clearly defined anxiety disorders. What? Wait. anxiety medications are neither written by psychiatrists, nor are they written for patients with clearly defined anxiety disorders. I'm confused, then why are they, like, who is writing them? Am I, like, missing the entire point? Anyways, just move on. In addition, oh fuck, where was I? LOL. In addition, many patients take the drugs daily for long periods. Galen, a 2nd century Greek physician, estimated that about 60% of the patients he saw had emotional and psychological as opposed to physical illness. It is currently estimated that for a typical general practitioner, about half of the patients have no treatable physical oh my god, I feel stupid. Have no treatable physical ailment. Many of these patients who complain of nervousness, distress, or vague aches and pains will be given a prescription for anxiolytics such as alprazolam. One way to look at this is that the patient may be suffering from a low-level generalized anxiety disorder, and the sedative is reducing the anxiety. A more cynical way of looking at it is that some patients are asking to be protected from the cares and woes of daily living. The physician prescribes something that can make the patient feel better in a general way. The patient doesn't complain as much and comes back for more pills, so everyone is happy. Yikes. Benzodiazepines are commonly prescribed for anxiety disorders. That's what I was about to, caption. Is that the right word? I don't know. That's what a caption says for a pic. Although most physicians would agree that benzodiazepines are probably overprescribed. In any individual case, it may be impossible to know whether the patient just enjoys getting a feel-good pill or feels better because of a specific anti-anxiety effect. It's difficult, if not impossible, to disentangle relief from suffering from feeling good, so attempting to separate these constructs at best will likely fail, and at worst will be seen as moralistic. The prudent physician in consultation with the patient most regularly evaluate the risk-to-benefit ratio when deciding whether to prescribe these medications. In other words, the physician and patient together have to make sure that the drug-related benefits outweigh any harms to the patient. That makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna skip a few passages just because I want to. Causes for concern: abuse, liability, psychological dependence. Most people who have used either barbiturates or benzodiazepines have not developed a substance use disorder. Most. However, it was clear with the barbiturates and that some individuals do develop problems related to frequent use. Shit. What was I saying? I don't know, I got distracted by looking at myself. I'm like trying to make sure that I'm like in a good spot for the camera. Whatever, it's fucking fine. Too late anyway. I don't know where I was. individuals do develop problems related to frequent use of large doses. Again, the short-acting barbiturates seem to be the culprits. When Librium, the first benzodiazepine, was in its heyday, relatively little habitual use was reported, as Librium was displaced by the more potent Valium. More potent Valium. We saw increased reports of habitual Valium use, perhaps because its onset, although slower than that of the short-acting barbiturate, is more rapid than that of Librium. Then Xanax, another rapid-acting benzodiazepine, became the most widely prescribed sedative, and reports of Xanax abuse appeared. Animals given the opportunity to press a lever that delivers intravenous barbiturates will do so, and the short-acting barbiturates work best for this. Animals will also self-inject several of the benzodiazepines, but at a lower rates than with that of short-acting barbiturates. When human drug users were allowed an opportunity to work for oral doses of barbiturates or benzodiazepines on a hospital ward, they developed regular patterns for working for the drugs. When given a choice between pentobarbital and diazepam, the participants generally chose pentobarbital. These experiments indicate that these sedative drugs can serve as reinforcers of behavior, that the short-acting barbiturates are probably more likely to produce more robust reinforcing effects than are any of the benzodiazepines currently on the market. Physical dependence. A characteristic withdrawal syndrome can occur after chronic use of large doses of any of the sedative hypnotic drugs. This syndrome is different from the opioid withdrawal syndrome and quite similar to the alcohol withdrawal syndrome. After chronic use of benzodiazepines, common side effects include anxiety, impaired concentration and memory, insomnia, nightmares, muscle cramps, increase in sensitivity to touch and to light, and many others. More severe withdrawal symptoms occur after abrupt withdrawals from chronic uses of larger doses. It may include delirium treatments, also known as DTs, delusions, convulsions, which may lead to death, and severe depression. Whoa, that's insane. This syndrome is nearly identical to the alcohol withdrawal syndrome and is potentially life-threatening, with death occurring in as many as 5% of those who withdraw abruptly after taking large doses. Withdrawal symptoms are reported to be less common after abrupt cessation of the newer non-benzodiazepine hypnotics. Nonetheless, there are a few case reports of individuals experiencing seizures during withdrawal. After extended use of Zolpidem at large doses, for example, in one case a woman reported up to taking 600 milligrams per day for several months. The daily recommended dose for women is no more than 6.25 milligrams. That bitch took 100 times what she was supposed to be taking. That's insane. Whereas, is a fucking fiend. Because there is a cross-dependence among the barbiturates, the benzodiazepines, and alcohol, it is theoretically possible to use any of these drugs to halt the withdrawal symptoms from any other depressant. Drug treatment is often used, and a general rule is to use a long-acting drug given in divided doses until the withdrawal symptoms are controlled. Typically, one of the benzodiazepines is used during detoxification from any of the CNS depressants, although one of the specific anticonvulsants may also be used effectively. Okay, that's... Sorry, I'm just looking it over. so that the danger is increased further. Additive, that's such a weird word for that sentence. Anyways, on the physiological side, the major concern is the tendency of these drugs to depress the respiration rate with large enough doses, as in accidental or intentional overdose breathing ceases. Wow. Again, the combination of these depressants and alcohol can be quite dangerous, although benzodiazepines are usually quite high on the list of drugs associated with death in the United States. In almost every case, the culprit is the drug in combination with alcohol or another drug, rather than the benzodiazepine alone. What is considered a benzodiazepine? I'm curious. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna look it up. Because that's what you do. Because that's what you do when you don't know something, is you look it up. Oh, benzos. Depressant drugs. Let's go. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm slow. It literally, like, told me earlier. Okay, I get it now. Anyways. Damn. I'm gonna have to go to... What time is it? It is currently 2:05 a.m. I don't have class until 11, so... I'll probably do this for a while. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I don't really care. Patterns of abuse. Given the large number of prescriptions written for sedative hypnotic medications, a relatively small number of individuals demonstrate problematic use. For example, less than 2% of individuals prescribed sedatives have developed a related use disorder. Nonetheless, abuse does occur. Historically, two groups have been more likely than others to develop problematic use patterns. One is older adults who obtain the drug on a prescription, either for daytime sedative use or as a sleeping pill. Through repeated use, tolerance develops and the dose is increased. Large doses taken over extended periods can lead to physical dependence. Yeah, literally. What? Hello? The other group tends to be younger and consists of people who obtain these drugs to alter their consciousness. Sedatives in pill form might be taken from the home medicine cabinet, or the drugs might be purchased on the street. Be that as it may, it's important to remember the abuse of these agents is not the norm, and the factors determining whether a drug will be abused are varied and complex. Very true, y'all. Don't take any freaking pills. That shit. So dangerous and so addicting. That's the real fucking gateway drugs, not fucking weed. Are you kidding me? Lifesaver. Combining depressants with alcohol or opioids. All of the CNS depressant drugs covered in this chapter, anxiolytics, sleeping pills, anticonvulsants, inhalants, and GHB, can produce two kinds of dangerous effects. For one, in high enough doses, they produce an intoxication similar to alcohol, and that intoxication increases the danger of many kinds of activities. From driving to sex to just about any active sport. That's interesting. Okay. The second danger lies in overdoses, theoretically possible to die from an overdose of any of these drugs alone. In practical terms, this is very rare. In virtually every overdose death involving Valium, Xanax, or Ambien, some other substance is present. Most of the time, it is alcohol. That's crazy. However, other combinations can be just as deadly, and as abuse of prescription opioids such as hydrocodone, hydrocodone and oxycodone has increased. More opioid sedative combinations deaths are also occurring. For example, the actor Philip Seymour Hoffman's death in New York in 2014 involved a combination of 7 drugs, including benzodiazepine and opioids. No alcohol was reported in his case. It's possible that some people don't know the potential danger of taking certain drug combinations. If they were made aware of the risks through appropriate education, then perhaps they might exercise more caution when combining prescription drugs. But alcohol is such a common thing in people's lives that they don't think about it when they also take a sleeping pill. Whoa, that's crazy. Many might not know about the danger of combining opioid pain relievers and sleeping pills. One should always take care of combining 2 drugs or any drug with alcohol. And read and pay attention to warnings provided with any prescription drugs. It seems like basic shit, but people really just aren't aware. Okay, well, I don't know, I just think it's kind of crazy to think like some old man taking a sleeping pill and then drinking with it, I don't know, having a drink or something. I mean, they probably wouldn't die from that, but still, what if that shit has happened? I don't know, that's crazy. That was cool though. Ooh, inhalants. This will be interesting. Some people will do almost anything to alter their current mental state. Gasoline, glue, paint, lighter fluid, spray cans of almost anything, nail polish, and liquid paper all contain volatile solvents that while inhaled can have effects that are similar in an overall way to those of the depressants. High dose exposure to these fumes make users intoxicated, often slowing their speech and causing them to have trouble walking a straight line, as if they were drunk on alcohol. Although most people think first of the abuse of volatile solvents such as glues, paints, and gasoline, other types of substances can be abused through sniffing or inhaling in a similar manner. 2 major groups are the gases, anesthetics, and the nitrates, as well as the volatile solvents. Oh my god, they fucking have poppers on the list. That's so funny. I'm glad though, because that shit, they need to put more, gay shit like that in common education, because y'all, gays are crazy and they need to be educated. Substances. And then it says which one it is. Paint thinners, paint removers, nail polish remover, correction fluid and thinner, glues and cements, dry cleaning agents, and spot removers are all a part of the volatile solvents category of substances. And then it has their chemical ingredients, but those are just all massive ass scientific ass words that, I mean, I guess it could be kind of fun trying to say them. Okay. Petroleum distillates, esters, and acetone, toluene, methylene, chloride, methanol, and acetone, ethyl acetate, trichloroethylene, these are crazy ass words. If you know, if I'm mispronouncing any of them, acetone, methyl ethyl ketone. Who the fuck is naming this shit? No way that thing's name is methyl ethyl. Are you kidding me? Methyl butyl ketone. These are like lame. What is whippets? Nitrous oxide. Okay. Wow, they literally have a whole category just for poppers. Nitrites. And the things included are, it's like one thing, locker room, comma, rush, comma, poppers. I've never heard anyone refer to poppers by locker room. That's gotta be some like old, dusty, ancient gay people shit. I'm kidding. If you are like in that category that I just described, I'm kidding. I love my older gays. You guys paved the way for us. Oh shit, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, locker room, rush, poppers. The chemical ingredients are isobutyl, isopropyl nitrate, and butyl nitrate. I knew these. This is cool though. And also, if you're fucking watching this and wondering, oh, why does he know what poppers are? What the fuck? Blah, 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 blah. I'm not saying that I've ever indulged in that drug because it is a drug. And drugs are bad, and especially fucking poppers. Like, but I just know what it is. Okay. Y'all, there was like a loud ass fucking lawnmower driving past the building. I don't know what the fuck that was. It is literally 2:16 in the morning. Who the fuck is mowing their lawn? Anyways. Oh shit, wait, they're like, okay. Gaseous anesthetics. Gaseous anesthetics have been used in medicine and surgery for many years, and abuse of these anesthetics occurs among physicians and others with access to these gases. One of the oldest nitrous oxide was first used in early 1800s and quite early acquired the popular name laughing gas because of the hilarity exhibited by some of its users. During the 1800s, traveling demonstrations of laughing gas enticed audience members to volunteer to become intoxicated for the amusement of others. Nitrous oxide is also used. Oh wow. Nitrous oxide is also one of the safest anesthetics when used properly, but it is not possible to obtain good surgical anesthesia unless the individual breathes almost pure nitrous oxide, which leads to suffocation through a lack of oxygen. Nitrous oxide is still used for light anesthesia, especially by dentists. It is also often used in combination with one of the more effective inhaled anesthetics, allowing the use of a lower concentration of the primary anesthetic. Nitrous oxide is also found as a propellant in whipping cream containers and is sold in small bottles, whippets, for use in home whipping cream dispensers. Recreational users have obtained nitrous oxide from both sources. That's crazy. Druggies are fucking using bottles of whipped cream to get high. That's insane. I mean, I believe it. I'll try it. No, I'm just kidding. That's like fiend shit. Once again, y'all just smoke some fucking weed. Nitrites. Amyl. Wow. Oh my god, help me. Not the fucking topic on poppers. The paragraph on poppers, okay. Nitrites. Amyl nitrite was first introduced into medicine in the mid-1800s as a treatment for chest pain. Inhaling the vapors of this drug relaxes blood vessels, including the coronary arteries. This increases blood flow, but also briefly lowers blood pressure. Amyl nitrate is still used in emergency Australia's the name wizard of the nose. That's so weird. That's so interesting. During the 1960s, there was some recreational use of these poppers. The increased blood flow created a sense of warmth, and increased blood flow to the sexual organs might have accounted for the street lore that nitrates can enhance sexual pleasure. At high doses, there's also a brief sense of lightheadedness or faintness resulting from lower blood pressure. Although these glass vial poppers are much less available these days. Yeah, the term poppers remains as the most common street name for illicitly sold nitrites. In addition to amyl nitrite, butyl, isopropyl, and isobutyl nitrate produce similar effects. These products have been used in various cleaning products, and some users have inhaled those products to achieve the same effects. Chemicals abused by inhalation can be found in a variety of household products. It's a caption for a photo. This is some interesting shit. That's kind of funny, the fucking vial thing. Like, imagine you're like in like a gay porn or something. They're fucking smashing a little bottle. That's so fucking stupid. Volatile solvents. Y'all, I'm kind of getting tired of this like topic. I might go. Oh no, I'm gonna read this. Okay. Gamma hydros. So wow, I'm gonna like learn how to say that. Hang on. This is the GHB topic, and I want to learn about this because it was in Queer as Folk. So I want to read it.
Gamma hydroxybutyric acid.
Okay. Gamma hydroxybutyric acid. Gamma hydroxybutyric acid. Okay. I had to get that in there. Gamma hydroxybutyric, or GHB, occurs naturally in the brain, as well as in other parts of the body. Its structure is fairly close to that of the inhibitory transmitter, or neurotransmitter GABA. Oh, this is making sense. GHB has been known for some time to be a CNS depressant, and it has been used in other countries as an anesthetic because it appears to play a role in general cellular metabolism. For a time, it was sold as a dietary supplement and taken mostly in fairly low doses by athletes and bodybuilders hoping to stimulate muscle growth. There is no good evidence that GHB is effective for this use, but its widespread availability in the 1980s led to some rediscover its powerful CNS depressant effects. Taking larger quantities of GHB alone or combining GHB with alcohol produces a combined depressant effect similar to that would be produced by combining alcohol with other depressants discussed in this chapter, from chloral hydrate to the benzodiazepines. So it's like bad. Like, don't do it. That was like what they said in Queer as Folk, because Teddy, y'all, I don't know if you've ever seen Queer as Folk. Probably like, I don't know. But I don't know even know what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, but Teddy, because that's what he did. He took some GHB because this little twink was trying to seduce him. He was cute though. He was really cute, so I get it. Sorry, that fucking tractor just like, I like looked out the window and actually saw what it was, and it was like a little, I don't know, like a little truck. I don't know. It was like driving on the sidewalk and shit. Okay. Oh shit, I don't even know what I was talking about. Fucking Queer as Folk and Daddy, and don't combine GHB with alcohol. That's pretty much all. That's the gist. reduce muscular incoordination and slurring of speech. Increasing recreational use led the FDA to ban the inclusion of GHB in dietary supplements in 1990. Publicity about deaths associated with the use of GHB and alcohol as a date rape combination led in 2000 to congressional action directing that it be listed as a Schedule 1 controlled substance. Evidence from the Monitoring the Future survey indicated that in 2019, only about 0.4% of high school seniors reported using GHB in the past year, down from about 2% in the year 2000, the first year GHB use was studied. Who are these high schoolers taking all these freaking drugs? Y'all are crazy, what the fuck? Unintended consequences. Drugs and capital punishment. These are really interesting. Unintended consequences. Drugs and capital punishment. There is a long history of sentencing people to die for certain crimes. And although we no longer hang people for stealing horses, 28 of the U.S. states and the federal government still allow the death penalty for murder. Please note also that while the states of California, Pennsylvania, and Oregon still have the death penalty, as of July 2020, there's a governor imposed a moratorium on its use. In 1977, Oklahoma carried out the first execution using lethal injection of drugs, and since then it has become by far the most common technique. Most often, a 3-drug combination is used. The first is a sedative used to make the person unconscious, followed by a paralytic drug that stops breathing, and then a drug to stop the heart. However, what may appear to some observers as a humane and sensible alternative to the more violent older methods has run into a number of both ethical and practical roadblocks. Whoa, like what? For one thing, these drugs were developed, tested, and approved for other purposes. No drug has been approved by the FDA for causing death. The first sedative drug to be employed in this way was sodium pentothal, a very rapid-acting barbiturate. After the only U.S. supplier suspended production of this drug in 2009, states switched to phenobarbital, midazolam, or a benzodiazepine, or the sedative propofol, which is only administered intravenously, so like injecting, I think. These drugs are capable of rendering the person unconscious when administered, but their manufacturers are also opposed to their use for this purpose. States are not allowed to import drugs from other countries to use in lethal injection, and the U.S. sources have become virtually non-existent. In 2016, the drug company Pfizer announced new restrictions on 7 of its products. Oh my god, I heard about them from the pandemic. In 2016, the drug company Pfizer announced new restrictions on several of its products to prevent them from being used in executions. This calls into question whether there is any legal source not only for the sedatives but also for the paralytic and heart-stopping substances that have been used. Some states have begun to turn to so-called compounding pharmacies, which are pharmacies that are allowed to prepare drugs without the same regulations imposed on regular manufacturers and distributors. However, the long-term viability of such relationships is not yet clear. Consider the unintended consequences of adopting medically approved drugs and what is typically a medical procedure to end a person's life. Should physicians be involved? Can they justify doing so while still adhering to the Hippocratic oath to do not harm? What reasons do you think drug companies have for not wanting their products to be used for this purpose? I don't know, y'all let me know in the comments below. In 2000, Congress directed that GHB be placed on Schedule 1. However, in 2002, the FDA approved Xyrem, an oral solution of GHB used to treat narcolepsy. For reasons that are not well understood, GHB tends to reduce the frequency of cataplexy, one common symptom of narcolepsy. Cataplexy refers to muscular weakness or paralysis, and in narcolepsy it is usually experienced as a brief, unpredictable episode. Thus, Xyrem, under the generic name sodium oxybate, is now available for prescription as a Schedule 3 controlled substance. Any other form of GHB remains listed on Schedule 1. Interesting. Oh, summary. There's summaries. Oh, this is what I should be writing down in my notes for the exam tomorrow. Oh, fuck. Alright, summary. The barbiturates, benzodiazepines, inhalants, and other depressant drugs all have many effects in common with each other in alcohol. Depressants may be prescribed in low doses for their sedative effects. Depressants may be prescribed in low doses for their sedative effects or in higher doses as sleeping pills. Over the past 50 years, the barbiturates have been mostly displaced by benzodiazepines. The barbiturates and benzodiazepines increase the inhibitory neural effects of the neurotransmitter GABA. Drugs that have a short duration of action are more likely to produce withdrawal symptoms. Okay. Overdoses of these depressant drugs can cause death by inhibiting respiration, particularly if the drug is in combination with alcohol. The abused inhalants include gases, anesthetics, certain nitrites, and volatile solvents. Abuse of inhalation, especially of the volatile solvents, can lead to organ damage, including neurological damage, more readily than with alcohol or other psychoactive substances. Alright, so y'all don't be sniffing volatile solvents. And I can even tell you what that would include. I want to find that page. Yo, what page was that table on? That was kind of cool. Oh, right here. Volatile solvents. Oh, like paint thinners, removers, nail polish, like dry cleaning, glue and cement. Okay, y'all don't be sniffing shit. That was cool. Wow, y'all were with me to read like pretty much an entire. Oh, there's review questions. That's cool. What was the foulest smelling drug that was so widely used in mental hospitals before the 1950s? Oh my god, I don't know. What the fuck? I don't remember reading that. I'm like curious. What is it? They should give you the answers. Literally. Which use of benzodiazepine sedative versus hypnotic calls for higher dose? Higher dose is hypnotic. The barbiturates and benzodiazepines act at which neurotransmitter receptor, the GABA. Why should hypnotic drugs usually be prescribed only for a few nights at a time? Because then you get addicted. Or like withdrawal symptoms pretty much. What is Zolpidem in NPN? Oh fuck. I remember reading it, but I just was it like fuck, I don't remember. What are the characteristics of the sedative hypnotic withdrawal syndrome? It was like fucking everything on the list that you could have as a withdrawal. Like literally what happens to a person who takes an overdose of a sedative hypnotic? They fucking die. I don't know. How are the effects of nitrates different from the effects of inhaled solvent fumes? Dude, I don't know. I want to fucking know that. What are the effects of combining GHB with alcohol? Death. I'm gonna Google the answer to some of these. Oh shit. Dude, highlighting is so hard in this fucking textbook. Okay, that's pretty cool. Anyways, y'all, I think that's gonna be it for the video. Thank you. I wasn't really expecting to like go so deep into the one chapter. I kind of wanted to read a little bit from each chapter of the textbook as a little review, but it is what it is. It was a really interesting chapter, and I learned quite a bit, and I hope you did too. Anyways, yeah, that was cool. Thank you guys for reading about depressants and saying you have like, I don't even know. I don't know, but thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.